We studied businesses in the state of Louisiana, and our intent was to get their opinions on whether broadband is sufficient enough. Are we doing the right things with it? What are the capabilities for the future? Are those satisfactory? Do we need work on that? That's basically the essence of what we were looking at. We were not doing an economic impact, but we certainly were asking their opinion as far as that economic impact in their minds.
We found out that actually 14% of businesses in the state of Louisiana have indicated that they've actually lost business because of lack of broadband internet access. And that overall we found that 90% of businesses are in favor of aggressively pursuing broadband access policies. So the first question we ask, how does your business currently use wired or wireless broadband internet? And you'll see that businesses throughout the state of Louisiana rely heavily on the internet to operate and maintain themselves. We asked, when it comes to broadband internet service, how do you think the service in your area compares to areas of the country where you compete for jobs? And what we found is while half of the business surveyed believe the service in their area is about the same as areas of the country where they compete for jobs, over 1/3 indicate they think the service in their area is worse than the areas of the country where they compete for jobs. So herein lies a potential gap. Given that nearly 2/3, when you add those together, that comes out to 72.5%. So that's roughly 2/3 of businesses surveyed agree or strongly agree that businesses considering locating or expanding in an area place high priority on access to reasonably priced, high-speed internet when evaluating site selections. Then we asked, have you ever lost a business prospect in part due to lack of broadband capacity, speed, or cost? And there is some indication that business prospects are being lost, in part due to lack of broadband capacity, speed, or cost, and particularly in the tourism industry. And this one right here is the tourism industry, and so the red right here are people that indicated, yes, they had lost some business because of lack of broadband capacity. When we looked at it overall, we put all responses together, 14% of respondents indicate they have lost a business prospect in part due to lack of broadband capacity, speed, or cost. When we look at the importance of a well-functioning internet service to attracting jobs, 90.4% of respondents believe that a well-functioning broadband internet infrastructure is very important or somewhat important to attracting jobs in their area when competing against other locations. Not surprising, aggressively pursuing reasonably priced broadband policies is important to most of the businesses surveyed, most notably small business. And specifically, 90% of respondents indicate it is very important or somewhat important for Louisiana to aggressively pursue reasonably priced broadband policies. My reaction to that last finding, I really didn't find it surprising at all. It absolutely made a lot of sense to me, and it was kind of what I was expecting.
My question really for each of the panelists, it's with the proposed merger. What do you think the outcome of the expanded broadband will be for Louisiana in your field? So I kind of would be curious what each person would say.
You want me to start on that one? You're talking about the AT&T, obviously,
yes.
T-Mobile merger.
Yes.
I don't know enough about, let me put it this way. The more broadband connectivity we can have that we can provide to the marketplace, the better off we're going to be. And working with those two organizations to be able to provide that will certainly spur economic development to provide businesses greater capacity to grow their business. If that merger, and I know a little bit about it, I don't delve into the details on that. If that merger can provide that, then everybody wins. I think the urban areas in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, the major cities are pretty well covered. in terms of broadband connectivity. It's where the outlying areas, like the Hammonds of the world, or the other areas that outside those areas where we really need to grow those areas by having that kind of broadband, is where the key initiatives are going to be in terms of providing that access. So yes, the merger, if it happens and we get greater broadband connectivity, everybody wins. And that's probably not a good answer, but it's really the truth, I mean, in terms of where we're going.
Again, I can't speak to the details of the merger, but I can tell you that where we can get connectivity in schools, and especially, I don't know like how other industries are impacted as much as education, because we have schools in rural areas. So wherever we can increase the teachers' access to technology, it will be beneficial for students. So the same is true as when students have more access at their homes.
And I guess as far as healthcare is concerned, the big thing again would be in the rural areas, because we have it so much here. But there's another aspect where not only do the physicians look for consults with other physicians for patients, but with electronic health records now, there's patient portals. So patients can get online quickly and maybe get their results and look at their record and those kinds of things, which would be very beneficial to them if they had more broadband coverage in rural areas.
One question was brought up here regarding the proposed merger of AT&T and T-Mobile. What kind of an impact do you think that would have on Louisiana?
I don't know all the specifics of that merger per se. I can tell you that if it's going to help with connectivity both at the rural and urban level and provide better broadband connectivity, then I'm all for it. I think that's important, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're getting together, is to provide better services to the community as a combined entity than they would as separate entities.
I think it's very important to expand broadband in Louisiana for the healthcare industry, because we're expected now, everything is electronic, health records are becoming electronic, radiology images are electronic, and our doctors need access to these records from anywhere in Louisiana, and they also like to collaborate with other doctors, and they can even do teleconferencing over the internet, broadband access, and patients can access their patient portal to look at their records, and so the fact that for everyone to have broadband access is very important.
I think it's very critical that we do expand broadband connectivity, first of all, so that people can have better access to jobs, keep people in communities so that there's not the migration out of rural areas, or especially in the Delta area, and to grow economic development for agriculture and community and rural development.
My reaction is that it's not surprising. We do need to spread the ability for people to connect across Louisiana. It's very important to education, important to both the students in the classrooms and to the educators who are providing services to them.
Tell us what it's like to teach in a classroom without the internet, and why it's important that all classrooms have the internet.
Well, I wouldn't want to have to teach in a classroom without the internet, because of the services that it provides to us and helping us to meet the needs of students by engaging students so that we're able to educate them the way that they're entertained. And because the technology is so much a part of their entertainment these days, it increases our need to make things more attractive and more engaging to them. It also helps us to individualize for our students based on their different needs and to connect with them.
I think you could say it was a resounding, we need to move on with this capability. And I might also say that we need to move on with this fairly soon if we're truly to compete. And I mentioned this previously when I was speaking to the group. We've had other states that were behind us in this, and they have taken this initiative and run with it. We've lost a little ground in this, and we've got to address these issues and start to see where we should be moving on this.
I was very pleased by the results of the survey, and I was not really surprised. The results of the survey were pretty much what I expected, that when you have better broadband access, it can actually lead to economic development. And particularly in the tourism industry, there were a lot of tourism leaders that indicated that better broadband access would allow them to offer more and better services to their guests or to their customers. And in general businesses, just being able to offer more and better services would be a result of better broadband access throughout Louisiana.
We're all in a race for business these days, and in this nation there's only one pie, and we always want a larger piece of that pie. And one of the things we have to be is very aggressive about broadband capability.